Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, here in the studio. Did you miss me? I missed you. I really did. And today we've got many things to discuss. We are talking about Chelsea's striker situation moving forwards. We are talking about Man City coming in for Chelsea players. We are talking about new contracts for young talented players, and I guess maybe we could talk about the return of Felix for the weekend. Ooh, exciting, huh? Lots to get into. Really is lots to get into. So thank you for joining me, and thanks for your interactions, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. It warms my fragile little heart. And yes, I have shaved. I look like a pale mythical warden newt amphibian creature, but sometimes you just gotta work with what you are given. So, first of all, let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. MLS clubs want him. Does that mean we can sell him now? I keep saying this on the channel. I need to actually do some research and see, like, does our window need to be open? Look, Aubameyang needs to go. High wages. He's not happy here. He's been, left out of the Champions League squad. Of course, we've talked about. I haven't seen him in the training photos that Chelsea are posting. They're posting Thiago Silva racing Mykhailo Mudryk. We hear about Thiago Silva probably going to extend with Chelsea. We've seen Felix, Kai Havertz linking up training. We've seen Noni Madueke, Fofana coming back, James and Chilwell coming back. But you don't really see much Aubameyang content. Correct me if I am wrong. But, yeah, yet to see anything like that. Look, the sooner we get Aubameyang off the books, the better, and we just look at that. It will be another, Higuain-style mistake. Appeasing a manager that leaves very, very shortly afterwards. I swear we got Higuain in January. He lasted 6 months, and then Sarri went, and we were like, obviously it was just a 6-month loan. Still, it feels like a mistake, but hopefully we can sort Aubameyang's situation out soon. Whether it's MLS or not. Okay, so I do want to talk about a few things, so let's get into it. Apparently Chelsea are speaking to Lewis Hall in terms of a contract extension, a new contract, and very, very good and important. He's shown that although he has had issues on the pitch sometimes, he's not fazed by playing on the biggest stage, in the biggest games, against the biggest opposition, like Man City or whatever. And he's been, as a central midfielder, he has been trusted to play out as wing-back, as a conventional left-back, I think, when this is not his role, brothers and sisters. He is a central midfielder. I think he will get opportunity to do that, but absolutely, we know what Graham Potter's like as one of these modern coaches. He believes you need to be positionally versatile, you need to change shape within game, and you'll need to go to the midfield, play in the flank, and Lewis Hall is one of those players that seemingly can do that. Of course, he's still a teenager, so plenty of room to grow. He will be put on a long-term incentive-based contract. I'm sure of it. So I want to talk about that, and let's move on. I'm going to talk about Vlahovic in a minute, the Juventus striker, so keep poised, tuned, and prepared for that. But a big story, of course, rotating and circulating at the moment is coming from Fabrizio Romano, transfer guru, talking about how Ben Chilwell is one of the players that's being considered by Manchester City. And they've been considering coming in for him for years. Now, there's a lot. Ben Chilwell would be perfect for Manchester City. Make no bones about it. He absolutely would be. Ben Chilwell is a very talented and dynamic fullback, wingback in his prime. Champions League winner, no less. Put in an absolutely blinding performance in the final against the Manchester City. So they've seen it firsthand. Not only is he really good he can defend well, he can get up and down well and stretch play. he's kind of unique, Ben Chilwell, because he makes those kind of inverted final third runs like a striker at the near post, and he can do what Marcus Alonso did. A really wide wing back coming in, lash volleys with obviously he's left footed like Marcus Alonso, so he can lash a volley and score. But he's got a touch of the poacher as well. We talked about how Marcus Alonso did a lot of that, but Ben Chilwell is an all-rounded wing back fullback, where Marcus Alonso had obviously loads of faults in his game. He never had any pace to lose. The turning circle of a friggin' barge boat. Whereas Ben Chilwell, he's in his prime, he's dynamic, like I said, that buzzword, but he's really, really good, man. And Cucurella, bless his cottons, he might come really good at Chelsea, but he's not been great lately, has he? And I think he's more defensive, as in like he's more rigid as a player than Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell is high octane, he wants to explode into the final third, and he wants to score goals. Chelsea at our greatest in recent years is when both Chilwell and Reece James were fit before they both got injured, and before that Juventus game, they were scoring loads of goals. Both of them were scoring and assisting, and we were just like the unstoppable wing back team. Now I want us to be that team again, because that was peculiar, unsustainable, and overly reliant on quite a niche position in wing backs that can get injured because they're flying all over the gaff. And they both did get injured, and then we were vulnerable without them. We didn't have another sort of style to lean on, or we didn't have other options to lean on to play well. So I'm not saying I want to become that wing-back reliant team again. No. But you need good fullbacks, even if you play like a really good 4-3-3 formation where your midfielders and the front three intertwine and interact really well and you score goals, which is what we're hoping we're going to see from Graham Potter once the players integrate fully and some players return back from injury, etc., etc. But you still need good fullbacks. You still need Reece James in form, playing well, and looking at Cucurella, it's tough. It's tough, man. And Ben Chilwell is mustard. Now, I wanted to talk about it but Man City have been linked to Ben Chilwell before, and it's happening again. He signed with us when Lampard first joined, so 2019, the summer of 2019. So that's 4 years ago, nearly. Point being, he hasn't obviously signed an extension. He signed that initial contract. And it would have been a good contract because he came for 50 million from Leicester, which is, fine, totally worth it. He won the Champions League, he was in his prime and he played really well and whatever. But he's on good money. Like, he'll be on like 150, 180k a week because he was a blockbuster England international signing, and there wasn't many left backs around. I said before we signed Ben Chilwell, who the best left backs in the league. I think I said Andy Robertson, because at the time Liverpool were mustard. I don't know if Luke Shaw was that good. Who was playing for Man City? There was Benjamin Mendy before all the controversy. Still, it wasn't obvious, and certainly in the top three was Ben Chilwell, and that was before Chelsea signed him and before we won the Champions League. And I remember I fought tooth and nail to defend the Ben Chilwell signing when everyone else wanted Alex Telles, who obviously signed for Man United and flopped, or Nicola Tagliafico, who's still, I believe, playing for Ajax. Everyone wanted them instead of Ben Chilwell. I wanted Ben Chilwell. I was right. Me. I'm rarely right. Let me have this one. Anyway, I don't want Man City to get him. He'd be perfect for them. Let's move on. So, appreciating what we've already got, let's talk about the fact how we are... Look, great strikers, centre-forwards. We talk about Aubameyang probably going. So, Graham Bailey is saying Chelsea have identified Napoli striker Victor Osimhen as their primary target in the summer-January transfer window. Now, Victor Osimhen is absolutely tearing it up for Napoli. We were linked with him prior to him going to Napoli when he was playing in Liga, I believe. Did he play? Yeah, he played for Lille. So we were actually linked with him then. Now, last season, he got 14 league goals, which is pretty good. This season, he's already on 16 league goals in 16 appearances and 3 assists. So he's on 19 goal involvements in just 1,400 minutes. He is absolutely tearing it up, and he's 24 years old, so he's right in the sweet spot for a senior striker. Look, man, Many of you will rightly be excited by the linking of Victor Osimhen, but we've just had Graham Potter come out and say, look, but dropping 100 million on a striker doesn't solve your problems, as in he was talking about Lukaku, of course, and we reacted to that and we did a video on that, so you'll know. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, mate. I suggest you do. And this will be exactly that. Also, look, we've been linked to Vlahovic as well. I wanted to talk about Vlahovic, but Vlahovic, I think, will be an availability thing, the Juventus striker, and he hasn't scored many goals. Now, Victor Osimhen has scored loads of goals. Vlahovic won't cost us £110 million. Victor Osimhen probably would. Now, had I asked any of you, who would you rather, every single one of you is going to say, and rightly, Victor Osimhen. The only issue is, I, like many of you, have post-traumatic stress disorder from buying a striker from Serie A who's top of the league, who's scoring a lot of goals for £100 million. You know? Allow me to reintroduce myself. Come on, we all have it. There's horrible nightmares of what Romelu Lukaku's done to us. So, I don't know, man. I don't want to compare the two strikers. I think probably Victor Osimhen's more agile, almost certainly more technical on the ball. But Romelu Lukaku looked like, when utilised appropriately, he could do serious damage in the Premier League. I'm not going to talk about Lukaku more than 30 seconds here, but I'll say it again. He was tearing it up for Belgium, top scorer, but looking really good, scoring wonder goals, tearing up for Inter, looking like, when used properly, this guy was an absolute weapon and built for Premier League football. But clearly he's fragile mentally, Lukaku, and we damaged him even more by not utilising him appropriately. Now, in the same way as I hope Christopher Nkunku is not going to be Timo Werner, as in like an RB Leipzig wide forward who's scoring loads of goals in the Bundesliga because of a high line, and then going to come to the Premier League and not flop, because that's unfair on Werner, but not score loads of goals. I think Christopher Nkunku is way more technically adept than Timo Werner with the ball at his feet. He's not just all about running and trying to hit the ball at the goal. And I'm hoping the same could be said for Victor Osimhen. But I just don't know. And again, the recurring theme is I'm going to defer to our new recruitment think tank, which we haven't had before. We just haven't had before. We bought a striker because we thought a striker would score goals, so we spent loads of money on it. Now it's at the point of, no, this guy is going to work because data, graphs, pie charts. That's why it's going to work. So let me know what you think about Victor Osimhen down below. The return of João Felix. Remember him, played for 60 minutes, looked excellent, really exciting. Served his band now. He has. I was going to add him on Fantasy Premier League, but rather frustratingly, he's listed as a forward. Yes, I know in real life he's a forward, but most forwards, unless you're a proper centre forward, how many times can I say forward, are listed as midfielders on Fantasy Premier League. Like, Mudryk is a forward. I snuck him in because he's a midfielder. Salah is a midfielder on Fantasy Premier League, but he plays as a centre forward sometimes for Klopp. So I was really annoyed when João Felix, who's definitely an attacking mid, was listed as a striker. That really let me down. So I didn't buy him. That's the end of my TED talk on that. I am really, really excited to see him play again. I think genuinely, and this shouldn't be the case, but I think genuinely he could be a revitalising player for the attack. I know you shouldn't need that. You shouldn't, the way we lent on Hazard for so long, and I'm not going to put that mantle on him. I'm not going to put that pressure on him. But he did look like everything went through him. And a salient point is that he brought something out of Kai Havertz that made him look like, good again. So I'm really, really excited. I want to talk about that. So I wanted to talk about that because I wanted to get people's opinions on the return of him, of the attack, really as well, like what people think about who we should be utilising in our attack, because it is relevant to us targeting a striker in the summer. Let me know what you think, gang. Comment on everything I've spoken about in today's video. I love reading the comments on this channel because you guys are a respectful and intelligent community, which can't be said for every YouTube channel on the platform. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and you're welcome. Well, you're liking and commenting, and you're welcome to subscribe, was what I was going to say. Right, I'm out. I'm going to hang out with the little kitten, so take care of yourselves. Peace.